Chapter 1. The Signal. I woke to a strange rattling sound, cutting through my sleep like drops of water tapping on metal. It wouldn't stop. Somewhere deep within the station, the same emergency alert was repeating, not loud, but persistent, monotonous. I knew right away, this wasn't a systems failure. The station was quiet. Too quiet. Captain Torrell sat in the command center, staring at the screen. The others had already gathered, Lana from spectrometry, Roger from telemetry, and our technician Kai, who looked like he hadn't slept in over a day. No one spoke. "What have we got?" I asked, rubbing my eyes. "A signal," Torrell replied curtly. "From Sector G-79. The farthest edge. Nearly outside our observational field." A faint stream of data blinked on the screen, short packets, arriving at regular intervals, like a heartbeat pulsing through the vacuum. I listened. It was a rhythm, mathematically precise, as if someone had programmed it to follow a strict formula. "It's not natural," said Lana. "We've already filtered it. No known cosmic object emits anything like this." "Any encryption?" Kai asked. "Still unreadable," Lana replied. "But the structure is stable. Too stable. It's like, the message is looping." Something shifted inside me. We'd been here for nearly a year and a half, in this forgotten corner of space, on Station Orion 7, at the edge of the mapped universe. All that time, not a single contact, not even a hint of another presence. Until now. "It could be a trap," Roger said cautiously. "Or a distress beacon," I added. "Or maybe, a remnant. Of something, or someone, who was here before us." We looked at one another. The decision came on its own. "Prep the shuttle," said Torrell. "Take samples. Trace the source. Be back in 48 hours. If anything goes wrong, immediate withdrawal." "Understood," I said. 5 hours later, we were heading for the landing zone. The Cassini-5 hummed under tension. With me were Lana, Kai, and our pilot, Merrick. The rest stayed on the station. The space outside the viewport felt thick, black, almost viscous. The signal was growing stronger. "We're at the coordinates," said Merrick. "It matches exactly." "Where's the object?" Lana clicked her scanner. "Wait." Before us, as if emerging from the darkness itself, a silhouette began to form. At first, only a shadow. Then, outlines. It was massive. Stretched out, scarred by meteor impacts, as if it had been adrift for ages. Metal plates, rusted curves of structure, and no visible source of light. An alien ship. Completely still. No lights. No movement. Like a dead body, forgotten in the heart of the universe. I couldn't look away. This can't be one of ours," Kai whispered. "It's ancient," said Lana. I heard the signal tap again in my headset, steady, unchanged. The same rhythm. The same code. And now, I felt it wasn't just calling. It was waiting. "Beginning approach," Merrick said. And I understood, there was no turning back now. Chapter 2. Maroon silence. The airlock ramp opened with a barely audible sound, not quite a creak, not a hiss, something in between, as if the metal itself exhaled. Before us stretched a dark maw. For the first time, we stepped inside the alien ship. Ahead lay a corridor, wide, as if not built for humans. The walls were coated in layers of dust, likely settled over millennia. Beneath our feet was a grated floor, and through it, we could glimpse cables and pipelines. Everything felt foreign, unfamiliar, yet there was something mesmerizing in this silence, and terrifying. "Atmosphere is stable," said Kai, checking his sensors. "Oxygen levels are sufficient. Pressure is normal." Any contaminants? Lana asked. Minimal, some kind of metallic vapors. Trace amounts. Seems safe. I removed my helmet. The air was warm, heavy. It had a taste, rust, and something else, faint and elusive, like the scent of an old, forgotten room no one had entered for centuries. We'll split up, I suggested. Lana and I will head for the central chamber. Kai, check the side sections. Merrick, stay at the airlock. Keep an eye on comms. I don't like this, Merrick muttered. It's too quiet. Even for a dead ship. He was right. The silence pressed down on us like deep-sea pressure. No hum of systems, no vibrations, no echo of footsteps. Only our own sounds, and a subtle, almost tactile feeling of presence. We moved slowly, scanning the walls. Symbols and inscriptions were everywhere, bas-reliefs, strange markings. Not a single one matched any language we knew. Flowing lines, spirals, concentric shapes, as if the civilization that built this vessel thought in entirely different terms. At times, the space itself seemed to bend, or appear to. The architecture defied normal logic. In one of the compartments, we found something resembling a control post, a semicircular console fused into the floor and walls. Above it, a large dome hung like an elongated mirror. As we approached, it shimmered. Reflected us. Then warped. Our faces stretched, frozen in a silent scream. A second later, the reflection returned to normal. That's not just glass, Lana whispered. It's some kind of visual mechanism? Or a warning, I said. Maybe they didn't want anyone coming in here. By nightfall, we had returned to the airlock. We set up camp in one of the side sections, where the background radiation was minimal. The ship's atmosphere was still holding, though our instruments occasionally picked up strange spikes in high frequencies. We ate in silence. Even Kai barely spoke. All our faces were heavy, and not just from fatigue. Something aboard this ship was slowly seeping inside. I lay back, staring at the ceiling of the tent. The metal above us thrummed softly, barely perceptible, as though not a sound but a pulse moved through the walls. Deep. Alien. When I fell asleep, I dreamed of that dome. But this time, I wasn't alone. Hundreds of figures stood beside me. All in suits. But their faces were mine. Twisted, aged, lifeless. All of them stared straight at me. I awoke to a soft rustle. Someone had passed by, just beyond the wall. Quick, almost silent. I slipped out of the sleeping bag and stepped into the corridor. Kai? Lana? Silence. No reply. No footsteps. Only that hum again. All right. Probably my imagination. I returned and switched on the local receiver. The signal was faint, but clear. The same rhythm as before. Only now, it was coming from inside the ship. We had entered a dead world. But maybe it wasn't so dead after all. Chapter 3. Flesh and Metal. We descended deeper. No maps, no schematics. Only guesses, improvisation, and stubbornness. The metallic tunnels twisted like roots burrowing through the hull. The air was heavier here, more muffled, and I caught myself breathing deeply, as if oxygen was running low. Temperatures stable, but the humidity. It's off, Kai muttered, peering at his tablet. And background radiation is slightly above normal. Not much, but it's rising. Are the regenerators holding up? For now, yes. But we shouldn't stay too long. A massive chamber opened before us, echoing with emptiness. Along the walls stood columns, embedded with cylinders. Inside them, crystals, cables, vessels. No bright displays. Everything was built differently. Organically. As if the ship hadn't been constructed, but grown. What is this place? Lana whispered. Engineering bay, I replied. Or maybe a kind of central brain. Then why is there? She pointed to a structure along the wall, resembling a weapons rack. We stepped closer. It wasn't a trick of the light. Set into the alcoves were devices, clearly weapons of some kind, long, sleek structures that felt like cold metal to the touch. But when I activated one, it began to hum softly, as if sensing the warmth of my hand. No triggers. Just contact points. Alien technology. Alien reasoning. Kai stayed to study one of the devices. Lana and I moved on to the next section. Along the way, we saw Merrick leaning against a wall. You alright? Just tired, and my vision's blurring, he said, rubbing his temples. Like a ripple over my eyes. And my joints ache. Like a fever coming on. Head back to the capsule, I told him. Check your vitals and blood work. He nodded but walked slowly. As if his legs had turned to lead. Lana and I reached what seemed to be a navigation chamber. A dome-shaped room. On the ceiling, a translucent structure, like a living map. But not a normal one, not just stars and routes. This was a network. It shifted before our eyes, reacting to our presence. Beneath us were control panels. We stepped onto one, and the map shuddered, darkened, then began calculating a course. It took us a moment to understand. The destination at the end of the route was Earth. They knew our system, Lana whispered. Or they learned. Or the ship itself searches for intelligent worlds. A transmission cut her off. Kai's voice, panicked. Get to the lower section, now. Hiroshi, he. By the time we arrived, the engineer was already down. His face was lifeless, dried out. No blood. No wounds. Just dilated pupils and an expression of terror. Kai stood over him, pale and shaking. He just stopped. His heart. No warning. We were talking and he just collapsed. No sound. We need to inject him with adrenaline. See what we've got in the med kit, Lana said quickly. We exchanged looks. Silence. It's the ship, Lana whispered. It's not dead. It breathes. And it's absorbing us. Or we're slowly being poisoned, Kai muttered. Something in the air, in the walls. This place, it's not meant for us. Nothing here is. That night, Merrick screamed in his sleep. We shook him awake, but he couldn't remember the dream. He only repeated one thing. He's inside. He's inside me. The next morning, we saw the skin on his hands, cracked, like dried bark. And I began noticing the same on mine. Chapter 4. Countdown. We didn't go back right away. Each of us clung to the hope that the strange symptoms were just side effects, stress, confinement, the alien atmosphere. Fatigue. Gravity shifts. Anything but the one thing we had begun whispering about in private. We were aging. In the morning, I didn't recognize Lana. Her eyelids were swollen, gray shadows under her eyes, the skin on her neck had darkened, mottled with patches. She could barely move her fingers. It hurts, she whispered. Everything aches from the inside. Merrick looked 20 years older. His hair had gone white. He spoke slowly, searching for words. And me. I caught my reflection in a panel and didn't recognize it. Sagging skin, stubble laced with gray, a dull, hollow stare. As if we had slept through decades in a single night. We gathered in the central bay. What's happening to us? Kai slammed his tablet, it showed nothing. Vitals are normal. But we're rotting. I took another air sample, I said. Ran it through spectral analysis. Standard filters found nothing. But when I compared it to baseline organic decay patterns, I stopped. What? Lana asked. There are microtoxins. Extremely subtle. They don't break down. They're invisible to basic diagnostics. Looks like something biomechanical. It reacts to organic matter. Consumes it, cell by cell. Silence fell. Only the pulsing light above us remained. A weapon? Merrick asked. I doubt it. More likely, part of the ecosystem. This ship, it's not meant for us. It's a living space, and our presence disrupts it. To it, we're an infection. And it's defending itself. On the second day, we tried activating the shuttle's filters. But it was too late, the toxins had already seeped into everything, fabric, skin, even the walls. The air didn't feel suffocating, but it was killing us. Slowly. Methodically. No scent. No pain. Just a steady withering. Cells couldn't regenerate. The body gave in. I started keeping records. Though I knew no one would ever read them. Merrick stopped getting up. His skin turned translucent, like cigarette paper. Lana was losing her sight. Kai couldn't hold tools, his fingers shook uncontrollably. We're not going to make it, Kai said one evening. But we have to do something. We can't let this ship reach Earth, Lana agreed. Imagine what would happen if it entered orbit. I looked up at the navigation dome. The route still pointed to the solar system. As if the ship had chosen it on its own. We'll try to change course, I said. While we still can. But the fear had already settled in me. Not for myself. But for what we might bring back home. Chapter 5. Course cancelled. I hadn't slept. The last day, maybe more, had blurred into one viscous, trembling darkness. The tears had stopped, my tear ducts felt dry, like dust. My body buzzed, as if electricity were burning it from the inside out. When I reached the navigation bay again, my fingers were shaking so badly I could barely enter the command. The panel glowed dimly. Course set, Earth. Distance, 4.7 light-years. Estimated arrival, 12 years. The ship was headed home. We hadn't input the coordinates. None of us had. I would have sworn it. It did it on its own, Kai rasped from the floor, clutching the chest panel to his body. We only woke it up. This isn't a research vessel, I said. It's a courier. A carrier. Death in a titanium shell. Lana nodded. Her face was ashen, her hair falling out in clumps. Destruction without weapons, she whispered. Just air. Just contact. I tried to change the route. First through the main console, it responded strangely, blinking symbols, distorted glyphs, as if the ship was rejecting the command. Then through the emergency interface in the lower sector. There, I found an ancient manual override block. It was covered in rust, or blood. I wasn't sure. My fingers slipped on the levers. I entered a new destination, away from the solar system, into the void. Confirmed. Nothing. 1 second. 2. Then the interface reset itself, Earth was back. It had overwritten my input. The ship didn't want to change course. It was programmed. Or it had a will of its own. Or maybe it was following the last signal, an echo from somewhere in the past, sent by those long gone. We're infected, Kai said. Maybe that was the point all along. We were the trigger. Or maybe it's just repeating a cycle, Lana muttered. A biological mine. Launched long ago, to someday find a new world. Nausea rose in my throat. We had become the carriers. We opened the shell, breathed it in, gave the toxins form. Now the ship knew where to go. We did everything we could. Merrick was the first who couldn't stand. His heart gave out. Then Kai, cerebral hemorrhage. Lana lasted longer. She asked me not to leave her alone. I held her hand until the end. She was light as dust. Then, gone. Almost without a sound. I was the last one left. With the rotting metal. With the soft hum of the vents. With a panel that wouldn't obey. I stood. Slowly. Against the pain. If I have a few hours left, I have to use them. While I can still think. While my hands still move. I will find a way to disable the autopilot. And if that fails, destroy the route core. Or blow this ship apart, if I must. I will not let it reach Earth. Chapter 6. Final Station. There are 3 of us left. 2.5, if you count Kai, who's delirious. I sit by the wall, listening as he whispers over and over. The ship is watching. The ship knows. It was waiting for us. Lana is silent. She's lying on the cold floor by the technical airlock. Her skin is gray, like marble. Her breathing is barely audible. She no longer moves without cause. Only her eyes, dull, sunken, stare into the darkness. As if she sees something I cannot. Kai bursts into the engine bay, a broken panel shard in his hand. "I'll kill you, monster," he screams, smashing wires, walls, even his own legs. "You're no god. You're a coffin." He kicks the central transformer, tearing cables apart. Sparks explode. The air fills with the stench of burning metal. Then he collapses to the floor. His body spasms. Then goes still. I don't go to him. I just watch Kai become part of the ship. Like all the others. We thought we'd return. Our shuttle, Icarus, is still at the station, drifting at the edge of silent space. It isn't even docked with the alien vessel. We use standard delivery modules, leaving our escape craft as a precaution. Rational. Thoughtful. But now between us and Icarus lie kilometers of vacuum and walls that won't open. The controls are locked. As if the ship understands we want to flee. We are trapped. Lana asks for water. I give her the last ration from the reserve capsule. She smiles. A faint, ghost-like smile. "We stood at the threshold of greatness," she whispers. "And found our grave." I hold her hand. The warmth drains from it. She doesn't tremble. Doesn't resist. She simply dissolves, like all the others before her. I no longer hope to survive. Every step feels like my spine might crack. My hair is gone. My vision blurs. Sometimes I hear footsteps, not mine, but I know I'm alone. But there's still a task. I must not let it reach Earth. Under no circumstance. This ship carries death. Not an explosion. Not a beam weapon. Something worse. It replaces breath. It makes us old, fragile, breaks us apart like the dust of time. I'm heading to the navigation bay. Again. For the last time. I found an old bypass, a hidden access panel. Maybe I can send a forced pulse to the maneuvering thrusters, to shift the vector. Even if it drains the last of me, I will do it. Because behind us are billions. And they must never know what forgotten death truly means. Chapter 7. Reconfiguration. My hands are shaking. Bones rattle under my skin like ship beams in a storm. I can feel myself becoming a shadow. But time is slipping away, and hesitation means death, not just for me, but for millions on Earth. I'm back in the navigation bay. The dim light from the drained lamps pulses like the heart of a dying beast. Beyond the armored glass, black space. And a dot ahead. Earth. I can't allow this. Lana's body lies in the transition airlock. I moved her there, I couldn't leave her on the floor like that. Wrapped her in thermal film, as if that could somehow change anything. There's no one left to bury now. In her final message, she said. If you survive, don't come back. Don't bring them here. I didn't survive. I'm just lasting a little longer. In the engineering bay, I find an old analog bypass interface. No automated protection. Maybe someone forgot to disable it. Maybe they didn't want to. The ship wants to be noticed. To be found. It is a virus. To reconfigure the course, I have to disable the gravistabilizers manually and fire a pulse through the thrusters. One wrong move, and the ship will tear itself apart. But that's still better than letting it reach Earth's orbit. I input new coordinates, Sector B, 55. Void. No stars. No planets. A black pocket of the universe no one ever visits. The systems resist. The energy core overheats. My brain throbs with pain. My fingers stop responding. But I adjust what I can. Everything I can. Finally, the trajectory shifts. The ship trembles, as if it knows it's lost. The flight path veers away from Earth. Toward the dark, where no one will hear its call. The last thing I have left is my voice. I activate the emergency beacon. Tune it to long-range transmission. There's enough power to last centuries. Maybe someone will hear. Someone smart enough not to get closer. I record my message, trying to speak clearly. This is a drifting object of unknown origin. Coordinates, Sector B, 55. Do not approach. Do not dock. Do not attempt to activate onboard systems. The atmosphere contains undetectable toxins. Biological threat. We made a mistake. We all died. This is not a ship. This is death. Do not repeat our fate. I press transmit. The beacon flares to life, and I feel I've done everything I could. All that remains is silence. I lie down beside the console. Lana is to my right. Kai, somewhere below, among the wires. The others, in the void. We are all part of this ancient machine now. But maybe, now, we're the last.